we'll start with Juice World, talking about young people uh, who were coming up into the scene, starting to dominate the scene. We've talked a lot about Juice World. I feel like for someone that was only 21 when they passed away in December of last year of an overdose. We talked about that in the pod when it happened. Dropping this posthumous album, Legends Never Die.
1 week's notice. Came out of nowhere, really.
You know, I thought this was for a posthumous album, which, we always got to kind of like curb our critique with that, that this is not the artist putting their fingerprint all over it. It's finished without them being all over it. I thought this was as good of a posthumous album gets. I thought Juice kind of shone through. I thought there was a lot to really take away and like. Obviously, there's a little bit of fat on it at times, and I think some things that were like unnecessary features, so to speak. But overall, pretty solid. And I think you kind of see what made Juice this up and coming star is that he really, I think, in terms of his sphere, like being that sing-songy rap, did it really well. How did you feel about this album, though?
Yeah, it's interesting. I definitely felt like there was a lot of filler on here, and Legends Never Die never really changed my thoughts about Juice WRLD's music, because I don't think there's anything new on this and posthumous album. That's generally the expectation. I just had a bit of a different experience with Pop Smoke the week before. We'll get to that. But for Juice, I just felt, this is Juice doing what he does, right? This is that teen angst, that incredibly candid examination of one's mental health and desire to self-medicate to combat inner demons, right? That's still here. That's why Juice was so big and so famous, right? And I think where this album really shines is that, by the grace of God, there's actually some Juice lyrics that are able to really grapple with that directly, in terms of like when he literally says, "I know my lyrics saved you," right? And then you have that outro at the end where he's talking to his fans, right? And it's like kind of wild that he actually have these moments to capture and share with his fans, right? But I don't think I was really like wowed by any song per se, I don't think there's much here that you really hold up to like Death Race for Love or Goodbye and Good Riddance, But, songs like Stay High, that's Juice at his trappiest flows, and there's actually some interesting use of like drum production on this, which kind of gets to that more emo side of Juice that he kind of dabbled with sonically, even if he always really gave rap flows on his songs. So, it's interesting. I don't think I'm really going to go back to it all that much, but I think for his hardcore fans that are really, really taken with his death, I think there are really some moments that, you're going to shed a tear to and really, resonate with and reflect on that short but memorable ride that being a Juice WRLD fan was.
Yeah. I think in terms of a posthumous album, like you said, you want to feel like you get the artist's energy, that spirit through. And I think that happens on a decent amount of moments. Now, are those moments like top tier Juice WRLD moments? Probably not. But I think like the first song, Anxiety, I thought Bad Energy, Wishing Well, I thought these were moments where it really felt like you were getting that Juice WRLD spirit through his songs. And like you said, to have these kind of lyrics, these moments recorded to play and speak so directly to his themes that he's talked about, things that he went through, things that probably ultimately played a part into his untimely passing. It's kind of just like insane that this was kind of be able to put together and be as coherent as I think it was. And we're going to talk about Pop in a second. I think Pop's album is way better. But I still thought, for this being posthumous, pretty impressive.
Now I was thinking, I think one of the moments that kind of stood out to me, just kind of superfluous moment, but on Stay High, is that I thought a really good quotable. I got that drip like Gunna, I might drip or drown myself. I was like, ooh, Juice with the bars. I like that. Now, I think we have on this album a common sin with posthumous albums. That would be Come and Go with Marshmello. that is a very interesting song to me for what it might have maybe could have been if Juice was still here, right? That starts with like some solid drum kit work, right? And it's like Juice is kind of riding this, and it's kind of a different production for him. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And I started getting these vibes like, is this going to be like Halsey's 3 a.m. where it's like this really throwback pop rock song? And Halsey's on this album. That's probably why I thought of it. Mm-hmm. But then his lyrics start getting really distorted, and Marshmello's drops come in a little heavier. And I'm like, fuck, you ruined it. And I wonder, maybe that they made this song the way they did because this is all they had. This was probably a snippet or something, and like they had to clean up the lyrics somehow, and that's the vocals somehow, and that's how they did it. That's kind of my guess. But I was like, man, that's like kind of like the potential for more that Juice left us with. I'm like, maybe that was it. Mm-hmm. Who knows?
And if there's one man you want to put the hands of a posthumous album, it is definitely Marshmello. So
he's literally on here twice.
Yeah, not great. All right. Any last thoughts before we wrap this one up? Move on to pop.
Shout out my guy Polo G, obviously a Chicagoan like Juice. Cool to see them that they've never been on a song before. Yeah, but again, that's a very weird song. That's also a Marshmello song. It's like you just kind of copy and pasted this Polo verse, and because Polo G has a high floor, it sounds good. But again, kind of weird one. But I was actually surprised. I like that interlude song. What was it? The Man, the Myth, the Legend, where you got like, was it Cole and Lil Dicky, and people just kind of talking about their appreciation for Juice's technical ability as a freestyler. I'm like, wow, that's actually a really cool idea to like use interviews and stuff like that as an interlude. I like that. So this is interestingly, this album is currently at time of recording projected to do 400 to 440,000 first week sales, which depending on how high that does, it could beat The Weeknd for the biggest week of the year. The Weeknd did 444, and it's going to beat Uzi for biggest streaming week of the year. Kind of wild. And again, this came out with really no notice, only one single, and Righteous. It just shows you just how popular Juice WRLD is.